What is content marketing and how can you use it to scale your business? I'm Noelle Randall, real estate millionaire, entrepreneur, mentor, author, speaker, and so much more. And in today's interview style episode, we are meeting with 𝗡𝗢𝗃𝗃 of Real Team Realty. Tony is an amazing real estate agent. He was a broker and he now even has his own podcast. Tony was even on the Forbes Real Estate Council. So he knows a lot about real estate and how to use content marketing to really scale and grow your business. We are going to get into that today and share with you all of the secrets of content marketing and how to use it to grow your business. Let's go.
Noelle. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, all you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited to have you here today. 𝗡𝗢𝗃𝗃 with Real Team Realty. We are going to just get right into it because you are the king of content. So some people call me the queen of content. You are the king of content. We are going to talk about content marketing and get right into it. So tell us, Tony, as a successful broker, as a successful entrepreneur, how have you used content marketing to grow and scale your business?
First of all, thank you so much, Noelle, for having me on your show. I've watched your videos on YouTube. They are incredible. So I am honored and humbled to be here and to be able to contribute to your community. So yeah, content marketing, just to give you guys a little bit of backstory, I got into real estate back in 2013. I was 23 years old, but I looked like I was 15. And so when I first started, I didn't have a lot of things going in my favor, to be honest. I didn't have a business degree. I didn't have a lot of connections. I didn't really know too much about the industry. And then I read a stat that said that here in Utah, the average real estate agent is like a 46-year-old white woman. And so I was not that. And so it was really hard for me at first to try to find ways to get people to trust me, to hear my message, to give me a shot, to give me a listing, to give me some sort of appointment, something where I could start to feel like I was getting some traction. And so one day somebody asked me a question and I just had the idea, hey, what if I make a quick little video and just post it on Facebook? Because if one person has a question, I'm sure other people might have the exact same question. And so I kind of started building that habit. Every day I would think of a question that somebody asked me that day or a different day. And I just started answering questions, real estate questions on Facebook. And slowly but surely, I started to get DMs. People started asking more questions. People said, hey, I'm thinking about buying a home, selling a home. I saw your video. And so slowly over time, I feel like that was the vehicle that allowed me to start getting people to trust me and to actually listen instead of just, cold calling people or door knocking. For me, content marketing was the way that I was able to start to even grow my business even a little bit in the early days.
Yeah. So go there because like I said, I'm licensed real estate agent, licensed in Georgia. Well, I gave up the Georgia, but I'm still licensed in Texas and Florida. So we have that same thing and around the same year and around the same age. So we have so much in common, Tony. So content marketing was not one that people taught me in real estate school, as to a way to get business, but it was the best way that I found to get business. And I think we should keep going with this and dive a little deeper. So one of the things that I did and I was taught was like, okay, if I'm looking for someone that's trying to sell a home, I would make a checklist like the 5 easiest ways to sell your home, or how to sell your home and get more money for it, or how, and this would attract to me people that were looking to sell their home. I'm giving them valuable content, I'm giving them valuable information, and whoever would want this information is also raising their hand and telling me that they are going to be selling their home. So let's talk about some actual things that we do because I had to learn this on my own. This was not taught to me in real estate school. So let's talk about that because it's an amazing way to get business too.
No, 100%. And you touched on it. These concepts, when you talk about real estate, when you talk about credit, when you talk about applying for a mortgage, it's things that you don't learn in school. You don't even learn it in college. And so when I realized that, I started, to really focus in on that and just focus on providing value. And what I started to do was, because I didn't have any experience in social media and marketing, I started to look up other agents in my area. So I looked up their Facebook pages. I looked up back in those days, Instagram wasn't that cool, which makes me feel old. But I just started to try to find other people's sites to try to see what they were doing. And what I realized was they were all doing the same thing. It was, here's my listing. Call me if you need to buy. Here's my listing. Here's my closing. That was it. There was no There was no depth to it. And so
Right.
very rarely did I see an instructional video. It was all just look at me, call me, here's my listing, here's my closing. I am a top producing, amazing number one agent. And so I kind of tried to take things in a different direction. And I thought if I can try to provide value and talk more about the industry more so than about myself, then maybe I'll
Yeah.
stand out. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what happened. And to this day, it's kind of something that I really try to do. You'll rarely see me post a listing. You rarely will see me post closings or checks or cars, any of that stuff. I
Yeah.
really try to keep it focused on people so that they can be more educated. And I've just found that to be a better recipe overall.
I agree. I agree. And you said an amazing point there, Tony, about just sharing yourself too. So, all of these people are just sharing, hey, I'm the best this, I'm the best that, but not just sharing those things about yourself, but how you bring value to them being who you are. So give us some tips and tricks on how you've been able, because you're really good at this, on how you've been able to tell people about yourself, even maybe sometimes brag about yourself, but use it as content, use it as information that people find valuable.
What I found is that when you provide value day in and day out, you really don't have to put the spotlight on yourself. It comes. It just comes.
Yeah.
When we talk about quick little tips to actually get into the weeds and do the content, sometimes it's
Yeah.
very hard to create original content every single day. So if you have to sit down and you have to try to create something new day in and day out, it's very difficult to do so. So what I started doing was just Q&A. I would just sit down and I would just write every question that I could ever remember anybody asking me in any circumstance. And I had a list of like 80 questions. And so I would just
Okay.
tackle them one by one. Now
Okay.
on my podcast, it's just a Q&A show. And so what we do is
Yeah.
I answer 5 questions a week, and then we have the full show, and then we break that down. So we'll have the full show, which is probably 20 minutes long, 5 questions. And then my content manager will go back in. She'll break it up into little clips. So we'll have 5 little mini clips. Every question becomes one clip. Every question becomes
Yeah.
one article on Medium. Every question becomes
Yeah.
one post on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. So that way you can kind of proliferate your content to where I'm only literally filming an hour a week, but that 1 hour is becoming 30 or 40 pieces of content. And so that way you can make it much more streamlined to where you don't have to sit there and try to come up with a brilliant idea every day, because that's very hard to do.
It is. Oh my gosh, Tony, you said so many amazing things. And first of all, tell us the name of your podcast, because people should know you have an amazing, like you just said, I have a library where I've answered every real estate question that I've been asked, and I answered it. So let's hear about the podcast, because that's amazing.
Yeah. So the show it's called the Ask Tony Show. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. But yeah, that is exactly what you just said. That was the intent, to create a library of just information
Yeah.
from tax stuff, of application stuff, mortgage stuff, programs, FHA, conventional interest rates, all the nerdy stuff that nobody tells you about. It's all in there.
Awesome. I love that. So now so let's go to the second point, because again, you just flooded. I don't even think you realize how much great information you just gave. You talked about batch recording, because obviously content marketing is about putting a lot of content out there. It's about giving people valuable information, and then in return, they may reciprocate. Some of them may become your clients, buy your products or your services, but at the same time, you have to give first. So let's talk about this give first model, because that's basically what it is, and then the batching of all of this giving. Because you have to find time to batch record it or batch make it. So let's go there.
When you give first, it's kind
Yeah.
of funny, because sometimes people will say, hey, I see you in my videos, but they kind of feel bad because they're like, oh, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I see you in my feed. And that's the intent, right? I know people aren't trying to buy a house every day. Does that make sense?
Right.
But
Right.
the day that you have a question, whatever day that is, whatever random Thursday in June of 2024 you have a question, I'm going to be in your feed. I'm just going to be there. I'm going to be there that day. And so I think that when you focus on that and you don't have expectation in return of saying, oh, you saw my video, but then you didn't call me, and you just give, the day that people need you, if you show up, that's going to be the day that they're going to be like, oh, shoot, Tony. Oh, I saw his video last week. Oh, he talked about capital gains tax the week before or yesterday. And you start to get those DMs and you start to build confidence. And I think that that's one of the most important things, just to show people, instead of you bragging about yourself and me saying, hey, I'm on Forbes, and hey, I'm on this, I'm on that. If people can sense that you know what you're talking about, you don't have to do that. People just, they just
Yeah.
gravitate towards you and they trust you because you're providing value and they can tell. I mean, people can smell a phony from a mile away. If people
Yeah.
know that you know what you're talking about, that's all you need.
Whoa, Tony just made an amazing point right there when it comes to getting content out on a regular basis. One of the big secrets to getting content out on a regular basis and being consistent with your content is batch recording. Batch recording is where you record 5, 10, 15, 20 pieces of content all in one day, and you schedule and release it out so it seems like you're creating content all the time. One of the big secrets and one of the ways that I was able to scale and grow my YouTube channel and my business was with batch recording. Here's the secret. Noelle was recording 20 YouTube videos in one day for my YouTube channel. This required me to work all day, one day, and make 20 episodes. Now, of course, I had to prepare and put all of my content, but at the same time, I only had to record videos one time per month, and I would have videos every single day. This allowed me to do my work again in one day and have content coming out every single day. So every day I was getting more and more followers, more and more subscribers, and my business was just growing and growing with leads and so much more. Batch recording changed my business, it changed my lead generation, and it changed my life. One of the best things that you can do when you're talking about content creation and being a content creator, sharing information, is batch recording. You can easily do it and it doesn't take much time, but that is the secret to putting out content every single day and staying consistent because you don't have to do it every day. All right, now let's get back to this interview. Awesome. You are a wealth of information, Tony. So now we're to the point. Okay, so our viewers, our listeners are watching and they're thinking to themselves, okay, I want to grow and scale my business with content marketing. I want to start putting content out there. How does one get started with putting out content, knowing what type of content they should put out there and what's for them? Let's speak on that because you are so good at this.
I think it comes down to, number one, you have to pick a platform. So it's kind of tough to people that have like a team and content managers and stuff all at first. It's probably going to be just you yourself. When I started, it was just me all by myself. So number one, right? So number one, pick your platform. You don't have to play everywhere at first. It's really hard to play on every social media site in the world at first. So just pick one and pick the one that you gravitate towards the most. If you still use Facebook, use Facebook. If you're on YouTube watching videos all day, do YouTube. If you're on Instagram, be on Instagram. And then try to find other people that are doing well in your space and see kind of what they're doing just to get ideas. You never want to copy anything 100%. You want it to be original. You want to have your own voice, but it does help a lot to have ideas, whatever business you're in. If you're a barber, if you're an insurance person, if you're a caterer, if you're a wedding photographer, whatever the case may be, there are other people that are already winning on your platform, whichever platform you choose. And so just try to get ideas and then make it original. My wife is a photographer, so I'm always giving her content ideas. I'm like, hey, make an Instagram reel of 3 ways to not look fat in pictures. You just kind of try to find interesting pieces of content that are different. Again, that's kind of the route that I tried to take it when I saw other pages. How can you be different? And that's where you're really going to prove if you're a creative or you're not a creative.
Here's the thing, Tony, you gave like the best. I just loved everything you're saying. I was smiling the entire time. So not only do you just start, because I think that's the answer. You know what I mean? You pick your platform. That is like, you killed it with that answer. Like pick one. And like I said, most people know like, oh, you're a YouTube celebrity. Yeah, because I picked YouTube. I could not do Instagram and Facebook and all of these other ones at the same time. And if you notice, all of Noelle's platforms, YouTube is still #1 because that is the one I focused on. My Instagram is kind of my Facebook's my TikTok actually is really good too. My TikTok is second. So long story short, you start with the one platform and then you grow from there. But then another amazing thing that you said that we got to go on to a little bit more is you'll start to put content out there. Like you said, you gave your wife a really good one with 3 ways to not look fat in a photo. I'm like, amazing. I have some photographer friends that I should tell to make, post about that thing too. because that's bringing value to someone, and that is something someone would want. And I don't think people realize when you put that type of content out there that really brings someone value, not only are you establishing yourself as the expert, but you're really bringing value to someone that would want to know that information.
Yeah, 100%. And that's really what it's all about. Because when you talk about business, we're all trying to get more clients. And there are only there's a limited amount of ways that you can market. There's not an infinity number of ways. And so for me, it's just all about making good content, providing value, talking to people, and doing things like this. For example, like this platform that you have, Noelle, with interviewing people. If I have 5,000 followers on Instagram, I'm going to post it and I'm going to put it on my story, and 126 people are going to be like, hey, who's Noelle? And then they're going to find me. Like, it's not all about making the sale right away. Does that make sense?
Right.
Your videos are going to get a couple hundred more views because of this. And so it's kind of doing that hand-to-hand combat, one day at a time, one day at a time. Don't beat yourself up. If you make an Instagram reel and it doesn't get 7 million views the first time, it's okay. Just keep building and keep doing it and be consistent. I see so many people that start a podcast, they'll do 6 episodes and then they'll disappear, and then they'll come back and they'll apologize for disappearing, and then they'll do another 6. And that's just not the way to do it. Even if it's small, even if you feel like you're not doing a lot, doing a little bit every single day, it's just a compound effect that 5-6 years down the road, you have so much content that somebody that's starting, they're never going to catch up. Like no matter how hard they try, they're never going to catch up. Just like with you, Noelle, if I start YouTube today doing what you're doing, I'm never going to catch up, right? You've been doing it forever. So it's just playing the long game, just one little day at a time, just chipping away.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh. So just on that note, because you nailed it. So I feel like on that note, Tony, just give us your best tips, because you gave us like 10 great tips. And I think that consistency one was the one that people don't see about Noelle. They'll see Noelle's success, or they'll see all these subscribers now, but they don't realize there used to be a time when I would get 10 views on my video. There was a time when I had 17 subscribers and I just had to keep going. So what is your best tip, Tony, about content marketing before we go?
So I'd say number one, like we said, pick your platform. Don't try to play everywhere because you're going to get overwhelmed. Number two, just be yourself. Don't be afraid to be yourself. Don't try to fit into a box. Don't try to be like the next person. Just be yourself and be authentic and just speak from the heart, and people can feel that and people can resonate with that. And then number three, you got to believe in yourself. Just like you said, Noelle, when you first started, you had 17 subscribers, but you knew that you had something, right? You're like, there's something here. I got it. I just got to, people just got to find me. But once people find me, it's going to be okay. And that's exactly what has happened. And I commend you on everything that you've done, but you got to believe in yourself. Because it takes a long time to build. You're going to have hateful comments every now and then. People aren't going to agree with you.
Yes.
But if you can pick your platform, if you can be yourself, and if you can believe that once you're discovered, you can bring value, it's only a matter of time until you win.
Awesome. You killed it. Nothing else needs to be said. Thank you so much, Tony Acosta, Real Team Realty. Where can people reach you?
I'm on Instagram. You can find me at _TonyV2, V as in Victor. That is my main platform. I'm on Facebook too, but mostly on Instagram. I do have a YouTube channel as well. You can just search Tony Acosta. But shoot me a DM. I'm on Instagram all the time. So thank you so much, Noelle. I really appreciate the invitation, and I hope that this episode can bring some value to your audience.
Thank you so much, Tony. Okay, so this was an amazing interview, and I gave you so much information. I'm going to give you some more information. I'm going to share with you my new book, Real Estate Millionaire Secrets, absolutely free. But I'm going to share with you a big secret. I want you to get that book by going to noellsfreebook.com. That's Noelle, Noelle with an S, noellsfreebook.com. Not only are you going to be able to get an amazing book, but here's the big secret. You're going to be able to see how I am able to put my pages together and how I generate thousands and thousands of leads with my YouTube channel. So one of the things that I do, and you'll see in this video, is I give you great information, and then I do a call to action where I'm offering you something. And in this video, big secret, I'm offering you my book, but I'm giving it to you absolutely free. So check out that website, noellsfreebook.com, so you can see not only the book that I'm giving you for free, but you'll also get to see the insider tricks on how I am putting out content every single day, and how I'm able to now use some of that content to write a book and how I get people to go to my websites by offering them something free in exchange for their email address and things like that. So make sure that you're checking all of this out, not only because I'm telling you this information, but I'm also showing you exactly what I do. I just want to make sure that you have all of the resources, all of the tools, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noelle, to your success.